Finally, some rain in our forecast for the next couple of days. How much rain we'll see after two systems move through this week.
Wrongful death lawsuit. Today, new arguments in a civil court case involving the family of Haley Brooks. Why some city Raleigh employees say they shouldn't be held liable for the 11-year-old's death during that Raleigh Christmas parade.
Student behavior in question. New insight this morning into what teachers are seeing in North Carolina classrooms. The issues they feel need attention.
We are following those stories and more here. WRAL News at 8 starts in 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, everyone. The time is 8 a.m. here on your Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. A rather comfortable start to the morning, but we've got some rain in our forecast for the future. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner at the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Here comes our next weather maker, moving to Tennessee with a line of thunderstorms that stretches into the deep south. Some severe thunderstorm warnings along it. But as the front crosses the mountains, it's not likely to be as energetic. We're not looking at a severe threat here when the front moves through tomorrow. Out ahead of the front this morning, we'll likely have a few isolated showers. There's 9 a.m., a little sprinkle or two pops up, and that continues on and off through around the middle of the afternoon. There's 1 o'clock, there's 2 o'clock, there's 3 o'clock. So just a little light patchy rain. I wouldn't expect much of that to really accumulate in the rain gauges. But tonight, when the front gets closer, we'll have a better chance of a soaking rain, and we'll talk more about that and how much it could bring coming up. In Chapel Hill right now, looking at cloudy skies, a little bit breezy. A southwest wind at 13 miles per hour, and our temperatures are in the mid 60s. We'll climb into the low 80s for the highs this afternoon. And again, we'll have that scattered light rain through the middle of the day. It doesn't look like it lasts through the evening commute. But overnight tonight, here comes another round, which should give us some measurable rainfall on the rain gauges and another chance on Sunday. It was looking like Sunday night, but the timeline has moved up a little bit. We'll talk about how that could affect your Mother's Day plans. Kit?
What is happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center? We got a handful of trouble spots to tell you about. First off, the congestion that we're seeing on I-87 at Smithfield Road. These are the southbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's isolate I-87, give you a look at the entire stretch all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. You're looking at a 16-minute delay right now. So if you're in a rush, you might want to take Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard if you're coming in from Zebulon or All Points East. To the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, you can see the bumper traffic, the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. So let's check those delay times. Right now, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay. Nothing really that's going to make you late. So if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, we're picking up about a 3-minute delay. But for those of you coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area on I-40 westbound, no delays to report whatsoever. So let's give you a check on some other routes coming into the Raleigh County area. Fins and Wake Forest, you're looking at a 12-minute delay because there's a crash on Capitol Boulevard right near Marsh Creek Road, causing some congestion as well. So watch for that as you get around the Marsh Creek Road intersection. There's that 60-minute delay coming in from Nightdale, but all the other routes relatively delay-free. I-40 eastbound, you're coming in from Apex, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. No one was seriously hurt in this crash near Nightdale that caused one vehicle to overturn. It happened just before 6:30 on Pool Road near Cal Aaron Circle. Troopers say a car crossed the center line and sideswiped an SUV. The SUV rolled over. Its driver went to the hospital with minor injuries. Right now, we are working to learn if there will be any charges. Wake County Schools has signed off on a more than $2 billion budget. It includes $10 million in cuts. Those cuts include funding for assistant principals, 7 vacant central services jobs, and millions from the transportation budget. District leaders say they were squeezed by a number of factors, including rising costs. The budget now goes to the county for approval.
Today, the state Senate is expected to approve a bill that would block counties from applying new appraisals to property taxes. This would apply to appraisals conducted this year. Local officials say this bill could hurt their ability to fund services at a time of population growth and rising costs. Now, if approved, the bill would head to the State House for consideration. Keep up with the bill by checking the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Happening today, new arguments in a civil court case involving the family of Haley Brooks. Two Raleigh City employees want to be removed from the lawsuit over the 11-year-old girl's death during the Raleigh Christmas parade back in 2022. So Kelsey Coffey, she joins us live from the Wake County Courthouse this morning. And Kelsey, the employees claim they can't be held personally liable for what happened.
Yes, Laura, that's what their attorneys are arguing this morning. In about 90 minutes or so, our cameras will be back here inside of the courtroom following any new developments. Attorneys for Haley Brooks' family will be presenting their arguments today after two City of Raleigh employees have asked to be dropped from this wrongful death lawsuit. 11-year-old Haley Brooks was hit and killed by an out-of-control pickup truck that was pulling a float during the 2022 Raleigh Christmas parade. This lawsuit claims the City of Raleigh event planners and employees did not ensure safety. According to court documents, two city employees are asking to be removed from the case. Whitney Schoenfeld, the City of Raleigh's interim senior manager of special events at the time of the parade, and Kirk Archer II, the city's special event planner in 2022. Their attorneys filed a motion saying that as city employees, they cannot be held personally liable for the criminal conduct of a third party. Landon Glass was driving the pickup truck that hit Brooks at the parade. Last year, he pled guilty to obstruction of justice, death by motor vehicle, and having a dangerous weapon at a parade. The hearing is scheduled to continue this morning. It's scheduled to continue this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
President Trump is putting Operation Freedom on hold for now. This is the military mission to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. The president also said, though, the U.S. blockade will remain in place. President Trump says the pause would give U.S. negotiators time to finalize a settlement with Iran. He also stressed the ceasefire is not over. This despite Iran targeting two U.S. flagged ships that passed through that strait. The U.S. military says the attacks were foiled and the Iranian boats were destroyed.
Meanwhile, oil and gas prices are up once again this morning. New numbers from AAA show the North Carolina average at $4.21. That is 7 cents higher than it was yesterday. In Raleigh, gas had jumped at 8 cents up to $4.25. And in Durham and Chapel Hill, gas is around $4.26. The rising gas prices have many people now rethinking their travel plans. It's Tourism Week across North Carolina, and tourism, as you may know, is a major economic driver for our state. We spoke with the executive director of Visit North Carolina. He says while higher gas prices may not break the bank for a weekend trip, they can still influence spending behavior.
Psychological impact is big, and it causes people to rethink whether they're going to take the trip or how long they're going to stay or how much they're going to spend when they're here.
There are still ways that you can support tourism without having to drive across the state. Some options include visiting parks or museums in the area, many of which are free.
New this morning, we're getting a closer look into student behavior and school conditions all across our state. Let's bring in WRAL's Kirsten Clark. She's live at the State Board of Education building this morning. Kirsten, this information comes from a survey of more than 100,000 teachers.
Yes, Ken. Just days ago, we saw educators from across the state march right past this building, in part calling for more support in schools. Well, these survey results show where teachers would like to see some of that support, starting with managing student behavior. In elementary schools, more than 13% of teachers say threats of violence toward them are a big issue. More than 30% say bullying and physical conflict are problems among students. 56% of teachers say student disrespect of teachers is an issue. Middle school teachers say bullying and vandalism are two of the biggest student behavior problems. 16.8% of teachers say threats of violence toward teachers, and 9% say student possession of weapons are problems. Now to high school, where 64% of teachers say drug and tobacco use is an issue, with vandalism, gang activity, and student possession of weapons also needing attention. Yeah, so in addition to those numbers, about 30,000 teachers say their schools are not comfortable to work in. This is because of issues like temperature and classroom size. The State Board of Education will review those results in their meeting this morning. It starts in a few hours. Live in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Today, the Federal Aviation Administration will talk about expanding the airspace over RDU. Under a new proposal, flights paths wouldn't change, but there would be a larger area where pilots need to talk with air traffic control. The FAA says the expansion would help the agency address the growing number of flights in the area. It would also improve safety for a larger area around the airport.
The expansion provides an opportunity to align the control airspace with the current aircraft volume. For Raleigh, this improves predictability for the pilots and controllers and supports the safe and efficient operations at Raleigh.
There will be a virtual community meeting this evening at 5 p.m. A final ruling on the proposal could take up to 2 more months.
Starting today, Breeze Airways launching 5 new routes from RDU. The destinations include Bangor, Maine, Stewart, Newburgh, New York, and Vero Beach, Florida. Starting tomorrow, Breeze will fly from RDU International to San Antonio, Texas. And starting Friday, you can fly Breeze to Madison, Wisconsin.
Your time now, 8:10. Issues with AI detection. A Wake County student wrongfully accused of cheating takes her issues directly to the school board. The higher standards she's calling on for schools using tools to spot cheaters.
Also, a scam warning. State leaders are sounding the alarm about a scheme targeting licensed professionals in our state. What they say are the biggest red flags.
Our skies are gray in Apex right now and across much of the viewing area. We do have some rain in the forecast for today. I'll show you why it's not much today, but we'll have a better chance tonight and tomorrow. Coming up. 8:14, here's our next weather maker coming across Tennessee. Big line of thunderstorms here, and you can see a severe thunderstorm warning. We're not likely to see severe storms here. Meteorologist Chris Michaels coming up in a couple of minutes to explain what's different for us versus what's happening here to our west. We are likely to see a few light showers for today by lunchtime, lingering into the middle of the afternoon. But what we see today will be fairly light, and then tonight and tomorrow it's likely to be a bit heavier. We'll check that out. Looking gray in Andrew right now, but again, that rain still looks like it's at least a couple of hours away. 61 in Roanoke Rapids, 65 in Durham, 62 in Goldsboro. So right now you can get out and exercise without having to worry about getting wet. Closer to lunchtime, we're going to see at least a few scattered showers, but that rain should take a break right around the time of the evening commute. We'll talk more about how much rain we could see today and tomorrow coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now is staying on top of the congestion that we've been seeing on some of our major routes, including here on I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see these southbound lanes and the congestion that we've been talking about. So let's stretch out the view, give you a look at the entire stretch of I-87 going all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway. You're looking at a 14-minute delay right now. So again, if you're in a rush, you might want to take Business 64 or Nightdale Boulevard. You're looking at a 10-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, and partly because there's a crash on Capitol Boulevard near Marsh Creek Road that's going to cause some congestion for you this morning. So keep that in mind as you navigate Capitol Boulevard or US 1 South.
Okay, Ken, thank you. 2 people accused of stealing from a farm supply store in Chatham County are now in jail this morning. Jacob Phillips and Morgan Shaw are charged with several felonies. The deputies say they found the 2 hiding inside a truck off Claude Phillips Road. They also found stolen guns and drugs inside the truck. Phillips and Shaw are expected in court next week. The wife of a Green Beret who was found dead in Fayetteville will remain in jail without bond. Shayna Cloud is facing murder charges after her husband's body was found in a pond. We took these photos inside yesterday's court appearance where Cloud appeared emotionless next to her lawyer. According to the autopsy report released last year, Clinton Bunnell died from multiple gunshot wounds.
We were pleased that Judge Gregory kept the bond in place with no bond. With this being a first-degree murder case that's moving forward, we felt that was appropriate, argued that that was the appropriate bonds.
DA says the discovery in this case will soon come to an end. He believes a 2027 trial date is realistic.
Well, new this morning, the town of Selma naming its new police chief. Justin Voss will be taking over the department. The town says Voss, who is from Selma, has nearly 2 decades of law enforcement experience. Voss is replacing former Chief Jamie Hughes following his retirement.
A Wake County student who was accused of using AI to complete an assignment now taking her concerns to district leaders. Eleanor Canina says that she was falsely accused of using AI to complete an English assignment. Now she's calling on the school district and school district leaders to set a clear standard for detecting AI use.
There are absolutely students who are using AI to cheat on their assignments, and teachers are doing their best to navigate the circumstances. But false accusations, along with being incredibly unfair, cause a great deal of stress for students.
Canina created a change.org petition calling on district leaders to create guidelines and transparency for when and how AI detection tools are used. It has more than 100 signatures so far.
We have a scam warning to tell you about this morning, the one targeting licensed professionals all across our state. According to the Attorney General's office, callers are impersonating representatives from state licensing boards. They're using public information like names and license numbers to seem legit. Scammers claim the victim is under criminal investigation in order to steal their personal or financial information. Now, before you share any information, look up the agency's official number and call it directly for verification.
A new mobile unit is taking mammograms on the road with UNC Health Rex. The goal is to reduce barriers like transportation and access and provide care for patients with and without insurance. The effort relies in part on local organizations like the Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Raleigh to host a unit. Staff are also able to provide services in Spanish, helping reduce language barriers and educate women on the importance of screenings.
Many of them don't speak the language, so they don't know where to go ask for help, and they trust us. So they come to us, and it's our responsibility to kind of find those services and programs that are available that could serve our population.
The unit will serve these 21 counties operating within a 55-mile radius of Raleigh. Well, right now we are tracking the potential for much needed rain through tomorrow, and it comes without a big severe storm threat. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us the key reason why in today's Ask the Meteorologist. Chris.
Yeah, so we'll definitely take both of those, right? The needed rain without any kind of dangerous weather. The heightened risk for severe weather today is really going to be across parts of the Gulf states stretching from Texas to Georgia. And then tomorrow it's limited and farther south of here. In order to get severe weather, we kind of go by this acronym that's called SLIM. You have shear, lift, instability, and moisture. Instability is the question mark, and that's your thunderstorm fuel. Reason why it's a little more limited is something that's called the cap or a capping inversion. If you think of it like a soda bottle, if you shake it up and you want to see the fizz go up into the air, well, if there's a cap on the soda bottle, that's not going to happen. Same thing with a thunderstorm. So if there's warm or even drier air above the surface, it puts a cap, it puts a limit on thunderstorm development, which is why you see through tomorrow afternoon, most any chance for strong to severe thunderstorms well off toward the south. Doesn't mean we won't get rain. It looks like we have a decent shot of that, and Elizabeth is here to talk more about the timing and totals.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look at the clouds that are with us right now. We do have the chance of seeing some rain today. We've clouded things up pretty nicely out there. We take a look at what's happening temperature-wise, 65. We have a southwest wind at 13 miles per hour right now, so it's a little bit breezy. We're checking out our next weather maker. Of course, this line of thunderstorms continues to push eastward way ahead of the front. We'll likely end up with a few isolated showers. We take a look at Futurecast. Futurecast showing a little bit of rain around 10 o'clock. It's still pretty far to the west, so we'll see. I think certainly by noon, we'll have the potential for a few isolated showers out there. The storms, or the showers, I should say, should taper off by the evening commute. We should be dry around 5 to 6 o'clock. And then our next round comes in. This one has a better chance of producing some significant rain for us, but there's one thing that could limit it for us, not just the cap in the atmosphere, but we could have gravity waves coming off of the mountains. When we have the wave hit the bottom, that is sinking air, and sinking air dries out the atmosphere. So that could mean that we don't see some of the totals that we're really hoping for. But we do have another chance, a very small chance of some showers on Saturday. I wouldn't change any outdoor plans because of it. But Sunday, it looks like the rain may arrive a little quicker than we previously thought. Yesterday, it looked like nighttime. For today, it looks like mid to late afternoon. So keep that in mind for your Mother's Day plans. It does look pretty wet for us on Sunday night into the day on Monday. So hopefully we'll get another good soaker. You can see that rain there for us for Monday. So we could see 1 inch to 1.5 inches over the next 7 days, as long as those gravity waves don't get in our way. We still need 10 to 12 inches of rain, but hopefully we'll make a small dent in that. As I mentioned, for your Mother's Day plans, Saturday looks just fine. Mother's Day itself, there could be some showers starting late in the afternoon, but brunch time looks just fine. Some ups and downs with temperatures. 82 today to 72 Thursday, 70 on Friday. Over the weekend, we're back into the low to mid 80s. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now, boy, we're staying on top of the congestion that we're seeing on those southbound lanes of I-87 as we look live at I-87 at Smithfield Road. These are the southbound lanes moving away from us. As we stretch out the view of I-87 going all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway, you can see you're looking at a 21-minute delay. So if you're in a rush this morning, you want to take Business 64 or Highway or Nightdale Boulevard as an alternate route if you're coming in from Zebulon or All Points East. To the southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 at Lake Wheeler Road, you can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is a still shot that was taken just seconds ago. So you get the picture in terms of the congestion that we're seeing on that southern loop of the Beltline. But as jammed up as that looks, though, look at this. You're just looking at a 2-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. If you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, no delays whatsoever between Highway 36 and the Beltline. We're also not picking up very little delays on that northern loop of the Beltline, really between the I-87 440 interchange to Capitol Boulevard, and then after that, it's clear sailing all the way to Wade Avenue. So right now, again, you're just looking at a 7-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Toll dispute, a family in outstanding debt for a loved one who had passed away. How 5 on your side stepped in to help.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Here's meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking a few showers here on our Wednesday, Elizabeth.
Maker definitely bringing a good bit of rain, even some thunderstorms, a severe thunderstorm warning. And in fact, just south of Nashville, starting to see a little bit of rain in the mountains and up into Virginia. Some of that's going to start to dip down from the north and bring us just a few light showers between, say, 9 or 10 and around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This morning's commute has been dry, and the evening commute looks dry, too. Taking a look at Andrew, you can see the skies are starting to look a bit gray for us. Our temperatures currently are in the low to mid 60s, 65 in Fayetteville, 62 in Wilson. We will see a warm day with highs in the low 80s and a good chance for rain tonight and at least for the first half of the day tomorrow. Ken?
All these minutes, keeping our viewers updated on the congestion we're seeing on the I-87 southbound lanes coming in out of Nightdale this morning. This is I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see the congestion that we've been talking about for the last hour or so. And looking at the entire stretch of I-87, you're looking at a 12-minute delay. Nothing they're doing to make you terribly late, but you can avoid that by going to Business 64 and Nightdale Boulevard. As for other routes, you're looking at a 10-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, but I-40 eastbound, you're coming in from Apex, relatively delay-free at this hour.
Wake County Schools has signed off on a more than $2 billion budget, which includes $10 million in cuts. Those cuts include funding for assistant principals, vacant central services jobs, and millions from transportation. The budget now goes to the county for approval. Coming up next on Fox 50, what teachers and students are experiencing in classrooms across the state. Plus, coming up on Today, Hugh Jackman in Studio 1A.
Finally, some rain in our forecast for the next couple of days. How much rain we'll see after 2 systems move through this week.
Wrongful death lawsuit. Today, new arguments in a civil court case involving the family of Haley Brooks. Why some city Raleigh employees say they shouldn't be held liable for the 11-year-old's death during that Raleigh Christmas parade.
Student behavior in question. New insight this morning into what teachers are seeing in North Carolina classrooms. The issues they feel need attention.
Lots to get to here at 8:30. We're so happy you're with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. We're going to help you get caught up here on your Wednesday. But first, the forecast, of course, starting with some cloudy skies across the viewing area. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking some showers on the radar, too, Elizabeth.
Yes, much needed rain heading our way. We're starting to see some of that just creeping over the border from Virginia. We'll continue to see just some light scattered rain as we get through the next few hours. You can see there's 9 o'clock, a little patchy rain there. What we see today is going to be very light and patchy We're not likely to see a whole lot of it until tomorrow. Overnight tonight, we'll see a band of rain that moves through, and that'll bring us a better chance. It does look like our patchy rain today ends by the evening commute, but then could restart by, say, mid to late evening tonight. Right now, we're taking a look from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. It's all quiet out there. It's been a little breezy this morning, southwest wind at 13, and temperatures are in the mid-60s. Gray skies everywhere, and we'll have that rain starting shortly and then ending by the 5 o'clock commute. And then we'll have a better chance for rain overnight tonight and into the day. Tomorrow, I'll show you how much we could see coming up.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, I-87 remains a troubled spot this morning. You're looking at I-87 at Smithfield Road. These are the southbound lanes moving away from us. So for those of you getting ready to head out the door, let's give you a look at the entire stretch. You can see the delayed stretch almost all the way back to Wendell Falls Parkway, but it's getting better. You got an 8-minute delay. It was into double digits in the last half hour. So nothing that's going to make you late. But again, if you're in a rush, Business 64, your best bet this morning. As we widen out the view, here's a look at some other routes heading into the Raleigh-Wake County area. If you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning, you're looking at a 9-minute delay. That's a combination of the traffic lights and the congestion we see this time of the morning. But all the other routes, I-40 eastbound, you're coming in from Apex and US 1 North. Even those of you coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area and I-40 westbound, relatively delay-free at this hour, which is really good news. You're getting ready to head into the Cartoonist Center on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. No one was seriously hurt in a crash near Nightdale that caused one vehicle to overturn. This happened just before 6:30 on Pool Road near Cala Aaron Circle. Troopers say a car crossed the center line and sideswiped an SUV. The SUV rolled over. Its driver went to the hospital with minor injuries. Right now, we are working to learn if there will be any charges. Wake County Schools has signed off on a more than $2 billion budget. It includes $10 million in cuts. Those cuts include funding for assistant principals, 7 vacant central services jobs, and millions from the transportation budget. District leaders say they were squeezed by a number of factors, including rising costs. Board members are pointing their fingers at the General Assembly. They say the lack of a state budget has made cuts unavoidable.
I cannot articulate my rage at the North Carolina General Assembly. This has been, without question, the thing that has caused me the most angst and worry and stress.
The budget will now go to the county before coming back to the school board for final approval.
Well, today, new arguments in the civil court case involving the family of Haley Brooks. 2 Raleigh City employees want to be removed from the lawsuit over the 11-year-old's death during the Raleigh Christmas parade back in 2022. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's joining us now outside the Wake County Courthouse. And Kelsey, the employees say they should not be held personally liable for what happened.
Yes, Kim, that's what their attorneys are arguing this morning. In just about an hour, our cameras will be back here inside the courtroom following any new developments. Attorneys for Haley Brooks' family are presenting their arguments today after 2 City of Raleigh employees have requested to be removed from this wrongful death lawsuit. 11-year-old Haley Brooks was hit and killed by an out-of-control pickup truck that was pulling a float during the 2022 Raleigh Christmas parade. This lawsuit claims the City of Raleigh event planners and employees did not ensure safety. According to court documents, 2 city employees are asking to be removed from the case. Whitney Schoenfeld, the City of Raleigh's interim senior manager of special events at the time of the parade, and Kirk Archer II, the city's special event planner in 2022. Their attorneys filed a motion saying that as city employees, they cannot be held personally liable for the criminal conduct of a third party. Landon Glass was driving the pickup truck that hit Brooks at the parade. Last year, he pled guilty to obstruction of justice, death by motor vehicle, and having a dangerous weapon at a parade. The hearing is scheduled to continue today at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Today, the North Carolina Senate is expected to approve a bill that would block counties from applying new appraisals to property taxes. This would apply to appraisals conducted in 2026, which is this year, of course. Local officials say this bill could hurt their ability to fund services at a time of population growth and rising costs. If approved, the bill would head to the State House for consideration. Keep up with the bill by checking the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Here on the WRAL Live Center, Laura, some breaking news, pretty significant as well. President Donald Trump put on his Truth Social account not too long ago saying that Iran, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary Epic Fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all. Now, again, what this is saying is essentially it sounds like he's saying there could be an end to the war here, but we're only seeing things from President Donald Trump's perspective here. I haven't quite heard from Iranian leadership just yet. But in terms of what he's talking about later on in that post, he also mentioned that Iran will be, quote, bombed at a much higher level if it does not agree to a peace deal here. But in terms of what has been agreed to before, this is an article from CNBC. It's saying that Axios did the original reporting about it, kind of diving a little bit more into what specifically they are going to be doing as part of this agreement here. And this has something to do as well with their nuclear enrichment, maybe having a hiatus on that development for quite some time. So still trying to look more into it because the Axios article I'm trying to get into is blocked right now. But after this news came out, you see right here the futures are up. It looks like Dow up 432 points for those futures, S&P futures up 57 points, and the NASDAQ futures up 363. But we've been saying so many times, talking about the war on Iran, what does this mean for gas prices here? Last stop here in the WRAL Live Center, you can see oil prices have begun to fall below that $100 mark. It looks like Brent crude is at $103 per barrel, and the WTI crude there looks like $95 as well. So we're going to keep watching this, but also to see how the market reacts after the opening bell at 9:30. So stay with WRAL News as we continue to dig into this breaking news here.
And with that update on oil prices, gas prices are still up again this morning because of the uncertainty in the strait. According to new data from AAA, North Carolina's average is now $4.21. That's up 7 cents from yesterday. In Raleigh, the average is $4.25. That's up 8 cents. And in Charlotte, it's $4.24, also up 8 cents. In Wilmington, it's up 11 cents to $4.18.
Newly released autopsy results from murdered Raleigh teacher Zoe Walsh revealing more about her death and the man charged with killing her. The Wake County Medical Examiner says Welch died of blunt force trauma to the head. Raleigh police say the Ravenscroft school teacher was murdered in her home in January. Now, before she died, she told the 911 dispatchers a man broke in her home and hit her with a brick. Officers later found Ryan Camacho sitting at a bus stop about a mile away with blood on him. Police say he confessed to killing Welch. He remains in jail without bond. The court is determining whether he is competent to stand trial. We have extensive coverage about this murder case, as well as how it is creating a change in the state judicial system. You can find it all at our YouTube page. Just search Zoe Welsh.
New this morning, we are getting a closer look into student behavior and school conditions across the state. Let's bring in WRAL's Kirsten Clark. She joins us live from the State Board of Education building in Raleigh. Kirsten, more than 100,000 teachers took part in that statewide survey highlighting school conditions.
Yes, Laura. Just days ago, we saw educators from across the state march right past this building, in part calling for more support in schools. Now, these survey results show where teachers would like to see some of that support, starting with managing student behavior.
In elementary schools, more than 13% of teachers say threats of violence toward them are a big issue. More than 30% say bullying and physical conflict are problems among students. 56% of teachers say student disrespect of teachers is an issue. Middle school teachers say bullying and vandalism are two of the biggest student behavior problems. 16.8% of teachers say threats of violence toward teachers, and 9% say student possession of weapons are problems. Now to high school, where 64% of teachers say drug and tobacco use is an issue, with vandalism, gang activity, and student possession of weapons also needing attention.
In addition to those numbers, about 30,000 teachers also say that their schools are not comfortable to work in. That's because of issues with class size and temperature. The School Board of Education, the State Board of Education, rather, will review those results in their meeting later this morning. Live in Raleigh, Kirsten Clark, WRAL News.
Wake Med and Atrium Health leaders are trying to clear up what they say are misconceptions about their proposed takeover by Atrium. Atrium's $2 billion investment could help make Wake Med more competitive. But it has raised some concerns about affordability for patients. It's a point of emphasis that Wake Med's CEO highlighted during a meeting yesterday.
it's going to be tremendous for the people of Wake County to improve access and drive affordability and help close those disparity gaps for all, especially in Southeast Raleigh.
It will be at least 90 days before the Wake County Board of Commissioners makes a decision on that deal. Time now, 8:41, still ahead, burdened with a bill. A family pinned with an outstanding toll bill after their loved one passed away. How 5 on your side is stepping in.
And this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and our Teacher of the Week comes to us from Wake Forest High School. We'll tell you why she always knew she would be a history teacher.
And our next weather maker is starting to bring some showers to at least our northern counties. We're going to zoom in on that and talk about how much rain we could see today and when it starts to get a little heavier. (8:45) following this next front that's going to bring us our next chance for rain. Today it's going to be light and patchy. You can see a little bit of that rain starting to drop in from Virginia. So a couple of showers that are up near the Virginia line right now. We'll see more of that dropping southward over the next couple of hours, but we're just going to give it about a 30% chance between now and the evening commute. It looks like we'll see a window during the evening commute where it's dry and then more rain arrives overnight, and that's when it gets a bit heavier. We take a live look over Angier and you can see the dark clouds there. It is 65 in Raleigh and 61 in Roanoke Rapids, 67 now in Goldsboro, 62 in Rocky Mount. If you're headed out to after school practices with the kids early on, say around 3 o'clock, there could still be a few lingering showers. It should be warm with temperatures in the low 80s, and we're not likely to have another round of rain until it gets closer to dark. And we'll talk more about how much rain is ahead for tomorrow. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, we continue to pick up that heavy congestion on that southern loop of the Beltline I-40. You're looking at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road right now. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic. So let's look at the sensors this morning. As jammed up as that looks, look at this. You're just looking at a 5-minute delay, but really nothing that's going to make you late. So it's moving, albeit rather slowly. If you're coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, no delays. Also, just very limited delays if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue at this hour.
Ken, thank you. What happens to an outstanding toll bill when a person passes away and does not have an estate? 5 on your side's Alex Littlehell shares how we were able to help a family and shares what all families need to know when preparing their own.
This is the route James Jackson traveled often.
Diagnosed with cancer, and they said it was the quick cancer. He wouldn't be around here long.
Jackson's brother-in-law telling WRAL it was the road he drove for medical treatment before dying of cancer this year. Shortly after his death came a bill from NC Quick Pass, $17.24. A debt his family says NC Quick Pass now wanted them to pay instead.
He passed away and was buried. We got the bill.
At the time of his death, Jackson's family says he never set up an estate and had no children or significant other either. In correspondence shared with WRAL, his family disputed having to pay their dead family member's debt. The response, quote, "Please accept our sincere condolences for your loss." Going on to say, however, we regret to inform you we are unable to adjust the account or remove the tolls. We asked estate planning attorney Andrew Coben his take.
Yes, it's very strange, right? So as far as North Carolina is concerned, right, the debt goes to the decedent. So the deceased person, their estate, it becomes the debt of the estate. It's not something that transfers to other people.
In response, a spokesperson admitted to a, quote, misunderstanding. 3 hours after this answer from NC Quick Pass, they reached out to Jackson's family, telling them they wouldn't collect.
The debts can't be transferred, right? So what they're saying is that, well, we can't go after this person because it wasn't his debt, right? So we're not saying we forgive the debt. Although if they don't do anything, ultimately it does expire, right? They have 3 years to bring forward their claims.
Would never have gotten a phone call if you hadn't contacted them.
Alex Littlehales, 5 on your side.
A man is in the hospital with serious injuries after a drive-by shooting at a Durham cemetery. Sky 5 flying over that scene yesterday afternoon on Moorhead Avenue. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as well. Police say it happened at around 5 p.m. and they say a man was shot by a passenger in a passing car. Police have not said if they have any persons of interest.
Well, as we celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week, we're at Wake Forest High School to recognize our Teacher of the Week. Meet a history teacher carrying on a family legacy of educators.
There are 30 statements. 12 of them were true of both World War I and World War II.
When Christy Dunn is in her classroom at Wake Forest High with her students,
you only get to highlight 12 numbers.
She feels right at home, sparking her students' interest in history.
I'm a true history nerd. I come from a family of educators, and so I don't think I ever wavered. I knew from the beginning, took a teaching fellow scholarship to Meredith College and been in the classroom ever since.
And not just any classroom. This is the same classroom at Wake Forest High where she did her student teaching more than 20 years ago. No wonder it feels like home.
I have kids now that I taught their parents. So I call them my grandchildren that are coming through now. And that's just, it's a lot of fun to have been in the community this long. You have 1 minute. 1 minute left. You need 12 highlights.
Ms. Dunn is always looking for ways to help her students connect history to their present and future. And every now and then she gets a little assist from the Marvel universe in her classroom.
Anything that you can connect with kids on that's cultural, that just makes it easier to form relationships, and relationships make it easier to lead them in the classroom to what they need.
Ms. Dunn, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week. Give her a big round of applause. Congratulations.
Can you tell she was shy? History, one of my favorite subjects when I was in school. Well, if you'd like to nominate a teacher, go to WRAL.com in a Teacher of the Week in the search box.
Well, as our temperatures warm up, most of us look forward to summer fun, but not the bugs that come with it. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner for this special report she's working on, Elizabeth.
Yes, and while we're in a drought, you may notice that we don't have as many mosquitoes around. Mosquitoes actually need water in order for them to be able to become larvae and adults. And so it's been a little bit hard on some of the mosquito spray companies. This is Joe Crawley from Organic Mosquito Company, and you can see he is out there trying to protect everyone from mosquitoes, and let's hear from him.
This time of year we typically get 10 or 12 new customer requests, and we're getting maybe 3 or 4. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have mosquitoes, you're not thinking about it.
Tonight on WRAL at 6 o'clock in our newscast, we'll talk more about the drought's impact on mosquito season and why we still need to keep the spray handy. One of the reasons is we're actually likely to see a little bit more rain here soon. We take a look here at our next weather maker. It's a cold front that'll drop in on us. The more rain we have, the more mosquitoes we have, because again, they do need water to be able to breed and become adults. So we're going to touch on that again coming up in our 6 o'clock newscast tonight. You can see a little bit of light rain that is up north near the Virginia line, and that will continue to dive southward over the next few hours. Between now and lunchtime, we'll see just a little light patchy rain. It's likely to continue into the early part of the afternoon, and then we get a bit of a break as we get closer to the evening commute. So this is a look at our rain chances for today. Again, it tapers off, should be pretty dry during the evening commute, and then overnight we see that chance really climb, and it's likely to be that we'll be seeing some steady to maybe even some heavy rain at times all the way through early afternoon. Now, the thing that could get in our way is something that we call gravity waves. And when that waves, in the atmosphere, the air starts to sink, it tends to dry out, and that could limit our potential for rain. We're hoping that we don't see that happen, but it's certainly a possibility. Here's a live look from our camera in Wake County looking over toward Garner. Lots of clouds out there, 65 degrees. Our wind southwest at 13, and looking at highs this afternoon in the low to mid 80s. So again, our rain chances for today are not great. It'll be just light and patchy, but hoping on Thursday that we get a good soaking rain. It's possible that we could see 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Looking good for the weekend. Mother's Day weekend, partly cloudy Saturday, just a stray shower. And then our chance for rain Sunday has actually moved a little earlier. We could start to see some rain late in the afternoon. So if you're planning to head out to dinner with your mom, it could be a little bit wet, but brunch looks nice and dry. Looking at some cool temperatures on Thursday and Friday, and we'll be right back with your top stories.